Hi, welcome back to The Frugal Life with Mercedes. You guys have probably noticed the last few videos, I'm wearing the exact same thing. That is because I'm filming it on the exact same night. Um, it's better for me to make videos, the sit-downy ones, usually on a Friday or Saturday evening. So, plus my wardrobe is kind of small too. So if it seems like I'm always wearing the same thing, I probably am. So to get into the video, today I'm going to talk about my no spend challenge and my pantry challenge. I'm just going to combine the two. So a no spend challenge is when you take a specific set of time and you don't spend money except on necessities. Now, necessities for everyone is different. For me, my therapy sessions are 100% a necessity. And paying the rent, paying the mortgage, paying the electric bill, car insurance, things like that. But everything else is pretty much not necessary in that. And again, everybody has different things that they aren't willing to stop spending money on, even during a no spend challenge, and that's going to be different for everybody. So I started this January 1st. But if you guys have seen my resolutions video or goal video, I just started it on January 1st just because it was a time frame and I figured why not. So I don't actually have a set time in mind for this no spend challenge. I probably should have set a time, but I'm just kind of playing it by ear. Also, for me, like I am goal oriented, but at the same time, sometimes I can stress out. Like if you say for 6 months for no spend, you can get stressed out and maybe put yourself in a bad headspace. Versus if you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna take it one day at a time, one afternoon at a time, whatever it needs to be, depending upon what your spending skills are. If you're spending money like crazy, I really don't spend that much money to begin with, but there's always room to cut back. So that goes hand in hand with my pantry challenge. I've said it in many videos. My biggest money waster is eating out. I absolutely hate cooking. I hate cooking. And I have a friend who says, like, oh, well, you'd enjoy cooking if you follow recipes, use good recipes, blah, blah, blah. I follow recipes. They never turn out. I follow good recipes. They still never work out. Because she also tells me, like, oh, you have to have good recipes. I have taken her recipe or whoever's recipe, followed it to a T, and the recipe did not turn out, and then you've wasted your time, you've wasted your money, resources. And so I just don't like cooking. I never have. So, and I love eating out. I do. I am a huge foodie at the end of the day. I love eating out. So, yeah, I love fast food. I love junk food. I love healthy food. So that's something I'm trying to work on. So I'm also doing the pantry challenge. I'm trying to really get good about cooking from at home, cooking from scratch. I have tons of stuff. I need to use it. And so for me, the pantry challenge and the no spend challenge kind of go hand in hand. They might not for everybody. And that's okay too. So I've also seen and heard people say that pantry challenges aren't good because you're using up, like, let's say you have a stockpile and you've built up that stockpile and then you're using that stockpile. Then for some people, they think like you're going to spend so much more. Like, let's say if you're doing a pantry challenge for a month, the next month your grocery bill will be so much more expensive because you are filling in on that stuff that you used up. And I agree and disagree with that. I think it depends on how big of a stockpile you have, if you have a stockpile, how many people are eating from it. I see a pantry challenge as a way to not necessarily spend more money. Because, let's say that you buy 20 pounds of sugar and then you are cooking at home more or cooking from scratch more, so then you're using all that sugar. Well, wouldn't a better plan be to, instead of using that sugar, why don't you use that honey that's been in the cupboard for 5 years that nobody likes and mix that in, do half sugar, half honey? Do you know what I mean? Like things like that, like try to improvise. Or if you bought half a cow, you're obviously not going to want to use all that half a cow that's supposed to last you for a year in a month. So instead, you would take other items and use half the amount of meat and use vegetables or different things like that, or do a lot of vegetarian or vegan meals, which is something I suggest anyway, even if you're not doing a pantry challenge, if you're trying to keep your grocery bills down, or trying to stretch meals more. Like, if you're trying to feed 4 people, but you're trying to use that meal for, 2 or 3 meals instead of 1, adding more stuff into it is a great way to extend your grocery bill and a meal. So that's why I disagree that pantry challenges are bad. It depends how you're doing it. It's also a time to be creative. And like I've said, like I think I said in one of my videos when I showed my pantry, let's say you find tomato soup for 10 cents a can, but nobody in the family likes tomato soup. Well, it doesn't matter how cheap you got it. If nobody likes it, nobody eats it, or you guys never, you guys like it, but you never really think to make it, you're not really saving money, even if you got it on super discount, if you never touch it and it's just sitting there. So I also think pantry challenges are a time to say, okay, we don't really like tomato soup, but we have 10 cans of it, so we got to figure something out. So if that means that you just take tomato soup and make it into something else, or you take the tomato soup and make it into like a beef stew, or just bite the bullet and eat the tomato soup for a couple of meals and then just say, you know what, we don't like it, we're not going to ever buy it again, instead of using up that year supply of ground beef or whatever it is that you have in your freezer. Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's a lady I follow on YouTube, I think it's Tribe of Many, and her husband do buy half a cow or a whole cow or whatever, and she does pantry challenges, but she'll specifically like say, we're only going to use the meat, the ground beef or the ground whatever, once a week, once every 2 weeks, and then use other stuff. So then you're not using that stockpile. Does that make sense? Like, so I think a pantry challenge is good. Also, food is not meant to be stored indefinitely. It's really not. So this is the time to get that can of whatever from the back of the pantry, or that meat that you're not so sure about in the freezer, and I'm not saying eat things that are unsafe, but it's a good time to clean things out. It's a good time to evaluate what you like, what you don't like, and to save some money. It really is. And I take a lot of pride in my chest freezer. To me, my chest freezer is security, and there's accomplishment behind it, and I absolutely love my chest freezer. I really do. And it's gonna be sad cleaning it out, like, eating the stuff from it, but I'm super, super fortunate to have the chest freezer. I'm super fortunate the chest freezer is full. I'm eternally grateful. Some of that is dumpster diving, some of that's from the food pantry that I volunteer at, some of that is just me getting stuff on super sale. A lot of blood, sweat, and determination got that thing full. And I am going to do a pantry challenge, and I am going to be really efficient in the making of that food, and I'm going to spend the least amount of money as possible for the longest amount of possible to accomplish this no spend challenge and this pantry challenge. And the money that I do not spend is going to go towards my credit card debt that I've talked about in another video. And I'm hopefully going to be dumpster diving again soon. I just haven't really been in the mood to do it between the holidays and, you know, the drama with the cops that one time, and that was months and months ago. But then there was like another incident with like the manager, and it is legal, but I don't really believe in like causing undue drama. So I'll hopefully get back to it at some point. But for right now, I'm have a lot of stuff and I'm pretty content. So if you guys are joining me in a no spend challenge and a food pantry challenge, please let me know down below. And also I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes, and feel free to follow me on that. And if you guys are not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. I put out videos all the time and on a variety of topics, and I love having you guys here with me. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, bye.